Hello, I'm Paul. This session is about empathy, that near mystical connection between people, where two people just seem to maybe get each other. So during this session, I'm not only going to explain what it is, but you're going to explore what it means to you and hopefully how to actually do it. So by the end, you'll be able to go away and try it out on somebody. But first off, let's start with definitions. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to stop the video and just have a think about for a couple of minutes what empathy is and how it might differ from sympathy. Pause the video now. Welcome back. So now you should have some jottings about what you think empathy and sympathy are. So let me explain back what I've got on my piece of paper. Firstly, sympathy. Sympathy is that thing that we demonstrate to people when we feel sorry for them. Most often it's accompanied by phrases and words like, oh, I'm really sorry, or that's terrible, or that shouldn't have happened to you, or oh, no, not again. So what we actually are doing when we sympathise is agreeing with. We're actually spending some time having some of the feeling with the person. Now, some people, most of us, like this to start with, but it doesn't actually go anywhere. It's a dead end. And what do you do if you don't actually agree with the person or the way that they've got themselves into that spot of bad luck or a bad patch? Empathy is different. Empathy still has that same tuning in element, but without the agreement. Empathy is about me putting myself in your shoes to try and figure out how you're feeling and what that's about. I can do that and show that I care whether I agree with your predicament or indeed the feelings that you're having about it at all. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is to pause and to have a think about what empathy actually sounds like, what you might say to somebody if you were trying to show that you were understanding them, or at least trying to understand them. Pause the video now. Welcome back. So you should now have some words and phrases that might sound a bit like these examples, and these are just my examples. But you'll notice that all my examples have three elements. The first is the feeling. You sound worried. You seem annoyed. I can see that you're angry. So firstly, your attempt might have something about pointing out the other person's feeling. Secondly, the what about. What are they having that feeling about? And this is what it sounds like on my notepad anyway. You sound really annoyed about the fact that I'm not actually buying into your example, or I'm not buying into your wishes. You seem fed up that this has happened to you again. You sound really pleased about getting that budget through the committee. So that's the what about. And by the way, you'll notice that empathy can also be used for good things. And the third bit is the why. So let me take one of the examples I've already used. You seem really pleased about getting that budget through committee. I guess it's because you didn't expect them to pass it the first time. You seem annoyed with me not agreeing with your plans. I guess that's because you don't like the sound of mine either. So as you can see, each attempt at empathy is my hypothesis. It's not a question, but it's me giving you, the speaker, an impression of what I've seen, focusing on how you seem to be feeling, what that feeling seems to be about, and my best guess at why you seem to be feeling that way about that thing. Okay, now for your third activity. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to pause this video and then go and look for either maybe just switch on the radio or a film clip. Just about any film will do, and give yourself, say, just 2 or 3 minutes of either radio broadcast or a film clip. And as it's playing, or as you're listening, listen to the feelings and scribble down the feelings that they are having. Indeed, your empathy, what your empathy would be for them if you were actually there live with the person you're listening to. Pause the film now. Welcome back. So how did you get on? It's quite tricky, isn't there? There's a lot to see. Even in a clip of, say, 2 minutes or even 1 minute, there's a tremendous amount going on all the time in conversations, even when they're acted out. But here's the bottom line, wherever you got to. Empathy is an emotional or an emotionally driven link between people, but sometimes it takes some work. So the way we work at it is to empathise out loud. We give our humble hypotheses of how we think people are feeling, what they're having that feeling about, and why they're having that feeling so much about that thing. Empathy can be used in positive circumstances as well as negative ones. It differs from sympathy because it's not based on agreement or me sharing your feeling. I'm not jumping into the particular pit or that particular glory to steal your limelight with you. I don't ever have to even have experienced what you're going through to be able to empathise with you. And that's empathy and how to think about it and express it. Good luck.